Hello and welcome to another week of Monday with the Mayor. I'm Bradford Raths, and we have returned to Jasper to see Terry Seitz.
Hi Bradford, good morning.
Good morning. So the 3rd Avenue project is now underway after several months.
Right. This had been a project that actually had been has two parts to it. There's a water main replacement. The water main there is it was in the 50s and 60s when it was put in, and then of course the related street repaving project. And I remind people that what is currently 3rd Avenue used to be Highway 162 South before the South bypass was put in, and so the state did pave that and prepare that prior to handing it off to the city, but this would be our first time to really do major maintenance on that. So obviously you want to get a water line in before you would repave a street. That water line repair and upgrade was pushed back because of the Beaver Lake Dam project, which was funded locally by our water department. And as that pushed things back, we ultimately now are able to budget for that. So that's what we're doing. This will be a water line replacement. It's going to see a lot of the work being done on what I would call the south side of the road. And it's going to go from basically Stadtstrasse, which is right around Hucks in Jasper, out to, I think it's Hope Avenue, and that's in the Jasper lumber area more or less. So that line has, they were installed differently. The lines are better today quality-wise. I think the installation is critical, and that will be done. Trying to get a lot of the work done over what I would call the Schnitzelbach Hill prior to winter, so that we can be able maybe to get some type of reasonable coverage on that, so that in case we would tear up the road with snow plows and things. So that's where we're started. Eventually we'll end up with that line fully replaced, about a mile, and then we will actually go pave next year on that. But that's underway, and you'll see the staging of the pipe and things near the Schnitzelbach, and that's what that's for. It's been a long delayed project, but it's a good project to go ahead, and it will be better off to have done. The other delay of that was we had an application for an economic development grant from the federal government, and we scaled too high in that. We really appreciate the business community trying to help support that, but ultimately we ended up doing as a local funding only, and that's why we had delayed about 5 months into that, waiting on a grant decision, which we did not get.
And then another phase of a project that people have heard a lot about is Lemper Road, but maybe the second phase is something people don't know a whole lot about.
Right. Well, we had a great attendance here at City Hall of people who live along that area, who came in last spring, and ultimately, again, I want to congratulate our street department. While the project was a combination of street department, internal city, and with our paving contractor J.H. Rudolph, ultimately our work was done. All the prep work was done by the city, and thank you to the citizens who engaged with them about any questions, problems. The road itself is actually beautiful, straighter. I remind people that it's still 25 miles an hour. It looks like a drag strip because it's nice and striped right now, but I remind you, nothing has changed on that. It's a good access road. Let's respect that speed limit. And the other part comes down to that we have basically a first surface coat on that. Some of the work, including a second coat of surface and related issues along the side of the road, striping additionally to that, will be done again in 2014. And usually what happens there, like what happened on Division Road a couple years ago, somebody will say, "Mayor, why are they repaving this road? They just did this last year." We have had essentially 2 coats and only 1 is down. So be ready for that. I'll remind you again next spring.
Right. And finally, we want to express our condolences to those who had their homes taken, businesses flattened yesterday. Horrible deal.
In this position as mayor, I cannot tell you how much I dislike storms. Just because you worry about the public safety or you worry about what's left behind. I talked to Mayor Joe Wellman. We've communicated back and forth, and he's the mayor of Washington, and certainly is not only just another mayor. He and his wife are good friends of ours, and he has had some call for assistance on the electric side of things, and we're working on that now. It goes through essentially a state organization that kind of dispatches that. But we know that the city of Washington, a peer city, our neighbor, has suffered. We know that there may be some call for some additional things from the public, but we're very concerned about their citizens, about Mayor Wellman and his city team like we have here. But as you said, ultimately we're grateful that there was no loss of life. And it is property, because property can be replaced. But it fundamentally changes neighborhoods. And why the storm split and left us right out in the open, I don't know, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah. Certainly feeling very fortunate here in DuBois County today. And again, our condolences to our Daviess County viewers and those who may know somebody in Daviess County who was affected by this. Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This has been another week of Monday with the Mayor. We'll have more news right after this.